Hey everyone, Sean here, and today what I want to talk to you about is why your firm should think about automating in stages. Now, the example I'll share is one of building a home. And the question I have for you is, when people are building a home, what do they build first? The foundation, or do they hang the kitchen cabinets? Right now, this question seems probably pretty obvious, but a home is obviously built in stages. And the reason why they do that is because it doesn't really make sense to start a step after a step that's required to be done before that step. Now, the reason why I shared this as an example, because it makes it very obvious, but what I see all the time is firms trying to approach automating in a very different way by doing all of the steps all at once, or worse, trying to skip to the end, which unfortunately causes a lot of those projects to fail entirely, which is what I want to avoid. So the example that I'm going to share for you is one that when I worked at the Vanguard Group, this mutual fund giant had me focused on automating tasks related to systems administration. So I was working on the IT infrastructure and I was searching for bottlenecks, trying to figure out what could be improved so that we could get significant time back and make improvements to the process at the same time. Now, one of those tasks that I was assigned had us focused on automating the process of managing the backups for our server infrastructure. Now, if instead, when I evaluated this project, I wanted to leap to the end, which I definitely could have done, it would have caused more problems than it was worth. And the entire project more than likely would have been rejected because what I would have built would not have been well understood by those that were going to be expected to manage it moving forward and any of the managers involved in that project. So instead, what I did was I took a look at where the team was currently. Then I thought through what could be the various stages in this process of automating it to get to ultimately where this team would be comfortable, where we could strike a great balance of adopting the new process that I was putting in place, as well as getting a significant ROI or return on investment by improving this process altogether. And I came up with several steps. The first of which was to take where the team was currently, where they were using spreadsheets to manage the process, and I just automated that step. I kept the spreadsheet as a key part of that process, but updating and inserting information into the spreadsheet was automated. And that was a very comfortable step for the team to kind of get used to. But once they were familiar with that, I was able to eliminate the spreadsheet altogether, and then eventually was able to turn the entire project into a software as a service or a SaaS product, which could be accessed from a web browser from anywhere, which added the ultimate inconvenience for those that were involved in this project. Now, eventually, what we were left with, which was a savings of thousands of employee hours per year, plus a significant improvement in the way this process was working before, as in we were catching errors significantly earlier, and we were able to take mitigating action to prevent them from becoming bigger, more expensive problems at a later date. So ultimately, the team was overjoyed with the results of the project, but the only reason that we were able to achieve so much success is because I didn't try to skip steps and go to ultimately where I knew I could have taken the project. Instead, I was focused on how the team I was working with would be most comfortable with each step along the way because they were going to be expected to kind of manage it from that point moving forward. Now, the question that I have for you at your firm is how can you take a look at where you have bottlenecks in the process and where you want to make improvements? And how can you break that down instead into stages along the way that make sure that your team is following you as you are making improvements and adding value so that you don't risk the fear of entire rejection of your project, which obviously won't lead to the result that you're looking for. Now, if your firm needs any help with this, I can help you. Feel free to learn more about me on my website at nextstep.io or email me directly at sean@nextstep.io. I want to